This video covers the practical implementation of AI in the public sector and the challenges that come with that implementation. In most countries, governments are relatively careful compared to the private sector when deciding if they should implement AI in their processes. Many critics would say governments are too slow to adopt AI, while people who are more skeptical of the lofty promises of AI say that governments are completely right to take their time to first see if AI can be of use. Still, there are some additional barriers to AI adoption in governments. A 2024 World Bank report mentions that many countries struggle with a lack of awareness of AI's potential among government officials, but also with inadequate policies, legislation and incentives for AI, with insufficient digital data and other digital infrastructure, and a lack of digital talent and skill in the civil service. So what we're seeing overall is that for many governments, the fundamentals are really not in place. These fundamentals are digital processes, data collection capacity, technical skills, and infrastructure. You can see AI as the next step in digital government. And if you're not digital yet, you can't really move on to AI. This means that some countries are more proactive in integrating AI into their processes, but it also means that the reluctant adopters can learn from the more innovation-forward countries. What we're seeing in practice is that governments that do deploy AI usually work with agile and iterative approaches. This means, on the one hand, that instead of following rigid step-by-step procedures, governments prioritize adaptability. They continuously assess and adjust their strategies as new information or new challenges arise. On the other hand, iterative approaches mean that governments engage in a cyclical process where systems are developed in stages. Governments learn from each stage and then refine the approach before moving on to the next. This allows for continuous improvement and reduces the risk of large-scale failures. Many governments that successfully implement AI also work with a proof-of-concept approach. They test and refine AI systems for a specific purpose on a smaller scale, ensuring that they are practical and effective before moving forward with larger investments and broader deployment. This allows the government to validate whether a particular AI technology or solution works as intended in a very controlled environment. Making a proof of concept also provides an opportunity to gather feedback from various stakeholders, such as civil servants, to ensure that the AI solution meets the needs and expectations of those who will be using it. In quite a few countries, the civil service lacks AI talent and expertise. There are many ways to address that problem. One option is to launch hiring campaigns to attract AI experts. These new experts would become so-called chief AI officers, for example, leading AI initiatives across different departments and agencies. This is the approach used in, for example, the United States and Australia. Some governments instead choose to set up large-scale AI upskilling and AI literacy training programs to boost the skills of civil servants already working for the government. Still others choose to hire more technical profiles on data and AI to work on new systems internally. Once a government or civil service has acquired the right talent, there are still many different ways to engage and mobilize that talent. For example, they can embed an AI expert into each department or agency to take the lead on AI initiatives there and serve as a point of contact. This is similar to the Chief AI Officer approach. Or they can create a cross-functional innovation lab or center of excellence that pilots new initiatives and bridges gaps between different departments or agencies. They can also use talent rotation programs where experts rotate across different departments or agencies. A cybersecurity expert might rotate through the Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, and a local government office in the US to share insights and standardize security protocols. Mentorship and social learning programs can also be useful, especially in situations where the gap in digital skills is high between employees. AI experts can mentor colleagues with lower AI literacy. Some governments establish learning networks and communities of practice, where ideas and best practices in AI are freely shared. Or in some cases, they can even hire internal development teams instead of outsourcing development to external developers. This is very expensive, but it also allows you to develop and retain internal expertise on these AI systems. Whatever the strategy, deploying AI in a government context is quite a challenge. There are many strategic choices to be made, and it can be hard to make the right one. Clearly defining the goals of AI deployment in government can help you make the right choices. For example, broadly using AI for many tiny improvements requires very wide-ranging AI literacy, while using AI for a few big-budget, high-stakes projects may require a cross-functional, project-based team.